Good morning, everyone, from my hotel room in Dusseldorf. And today I'm going to be taking the train down to Wuppertal. Now, Wuppertal is famous for one thing and one thing only, and that's its upside-down railway, the Schwebebahn. I've been wanting to do this trip for a good two or 3 years now. One thing and another, it's just I just haven't been able to get out here. But today I am out here. I'm going to go and do it. The weather's not too bad. I'll take some great shots on the way and on the train as well. Come with me for the trip and I'll see you when I get there. Yeah, so I found myself at Dusseldorf HBF, where I caught a National Express train, believe it or not, heading for Dortmund. Yeah, it turns out that the famous UK coach company had been awarded several rail contracts in Germany, and this service, the Wuppertal Express, was one of them. And the train, Desiro Class 462, was very smart, both externally and internally, and we set off on time on a journey that would only take about 18 minutes to get from here to Wuppertal. Right, that's the first bit done. And all I've got to do now is go and find the Schwebebahn and buy a ticket. Let's see how we get on. And it's an easy 5-minute walk from the railway station down to the Schwebebahn. It's all pedestrianised and very pleasant. You can't miss the overhead railway. It's straight ahead and you can see the tracks crossing the street as you get nearer. Now, ordinarily you can buy a ticket from the tourist information office, which is pretty much right opposite the station. But unfortunately it was closed on the morning of my visit. Though there are ticket machines located at the stations, I ended up buying mine from a newsagent's just down the road. The cost for a 24-hour ticket that allows you to get on and off as many times as you like was €7.30. Okay, we've got a ticket. We've got a ticket here from a very nice lady in the newsagents. Or whatever the German equivalent is. So yeah, I'm just going to go and get on board the next one, whichever direction's going in. I'll see how it goes, and yeah, enjoy the views. There are 20 stations on the line, which runs basically from Vohwinkel in the west to Wuppertal Oberbarmen BF in the east, or vice versa. I was at Wuppertal HBF, which is roughly halfway along the route, and the first train to arrive was heading west. And we were off, just as another train was pulling into the station from the opposite direction. And as you can see here, the line tends to follow either the River Wupper or a little further on is suspended above the street. The total length of the line is 13.3 kilometres or 8.3 miles, and it's double track all the way. Now, it's roughly 12 metres above the river at this point, although it felt a bit weird at first. I did get used to it fairly quickly. As you can imagine, with 20 stations along the line, it's never that far before you come to another. But they never stop for long, these trains, and as they emptied out, I was able to relocate nearer the front, from where I was able to get a decent view of the driver's cab through the tinted window here. Now, one thing I noticed was how quiet the ride was. Also, it's quite industrialised through the valley, especially the further west you go, but I thought it complemented the many steel supports of the Schwebebahn quite well. Doors are all automatic, and when they open, you notice the train is wobbling a bit whilst it's stationary. Now we set off again, and this time passing through the biopharmaceuticals plant and its many pipelines and bridges below. Though the trains seem quite small from the outside, I thought they were reasonably spacious inside. The capacity is 45 seated, 96 standing, with space for wheelchairs and pushchairs. The seats are hard, but they do have some padding. Anyway, you're never going to be on it too long for it to be uncomfortable. There are visual displays of the station stops, so you always know where you are. Talking of which, we were coming to the street section now, and as we see here from behind the driver, notice how the steel supports change to more of an arched design. And I guess they're more constrained by space here as well. Also, the height above ground is reduced to around 8 metres for this section of the route. And after about 3 kilometres of street running, we reach Vohwinkel, which is the end of the line. And as with all the stations I encountered, it's a short walk from the platform down some stairs to street level. Now, I decided to have a bit of a wander around at this point, though I must admit there wasn't much to see or do in this part of the world, other than watch another National Express train go past and stare at this building, the Bürgerbüro Vohwinkel. Nice though, I thought. I had a coffee, then I went back up to the station. And note the additional tracks here for the depot in the background. And as you can see, the trains do a quick 180 and the driver doesn't have to change ends or do anything like that. And then it's ready for more passengers again. That's German efficiency for you, isn't it? I was determined to get a rear seat with a view this time. And obviously the main advantage of it being a terminus station here is the whole train is empty when you board. I was going to do the whole length of the line now, from here all the way east to the other terminus, Wuppertal Oberbarmen BF. And I'll put the entire journey up on another video, but for now, please enjoy some of the highlights with me as we make our way along the valley. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of the line, which I think you'll agree is probably one of the most unique railway journeys in the world. The idea of an elevated railway in Wuppertal was recognised back in 1887, and construction began on the first 400-metre section in 1898. The official opening of the first 4.59km section took place in 1901. Now, between then and 1903, the line was extended to its current length of 13.3 kilometres, and necessitating the erection of a total of 472 iron supports, which you may notice as we travel along are all individually numbered. The line suffered severe damage in World War II, and it was not until after the war in 1946 that it resumed full end-to-end operation again. The most famous incident, which you may have heard of, was during a promotional trip by a visiting circus, when a small elephant jumped out of a moving car into the River Wupper. She escaped, thankfully, with just minor scratches. Trains were originally one, or more commonly two, carriages in length. They were entirely separate carriages and only became articulated in the 1960s, with the blue Gentian train making its debut in 1962. And the modern Generation 15 trains you see on the line today mirror the previous designs, where you have the two carriages linked with a smaller section in the middle, enabling them to negotiate the tight curved sections where the line follows the river in particular. There has been the occasional accident on the line, with the most serious occurring fairly recently in 1999, where a train hit a piece of metal on the line left behind by some scaffolding work. It unfortunately crashed into the river, and sadly 5 passengers lost their lives. A further 47 people were injured. Now, this is, as far as I'm aware, the only time a train has ever left the tracks completely and fallen into the river or street below. Now, the current train sets began to replace the old trains in 2015, with the last of the 1972 series leaving service in 2019. The railway was plagued with technical issues the year after, severely reducing its service. I know this too well because I tried to get them myself during this time. But in 2021, after a good 12 months of maintenance and repair work, it was thankfully back to the condition you see it in today. And what a pleasure it is to ride it. Okay guys, I've just got off at the other end of the Schwebebahn. So you've done the whole route now, from one end to the other. And I'm just going to have a quick look around here, see what we can see. And I'm going to jump back on it again. Yeah, so the good thing about the number of stations on the route is that you're never far away from a stop, and this means you can get off at one station and, say, walk to the next one and see a bit of the valley in between. And every station seemed to be of a different design as well. Some were really modern, like this one here at Wuppertal, and some had been reconstructed to replicate their original form, such as the Art Nouveau station at Wuppertal. And also the Schwebebahn never seems that far away from the conventional railway services either. Another modern station here, closer, and you can see one of the orange ticket machines as well at street level. And after ascending the stairs you will find the colour coordinated ticket validation machines at platform level, where you just get your ticket stamped by putting it in the slot as you would expect. I must admit, I never got tired of seeing the trains enter the stations. They seem to come in quite fast, however line speed is limited to just 60 km an hour. I had one more ride up to Pestalozzistraße for no particular reason, and then it was time to head back to where I started from, Wuppertal HBF. I think if I was staying in Wuppertal, I would have probably used the Schwebebahn a lot more, especially during the evening. But I had to get back to Dusseldorf, so I descended the steps for one last time before pausing to sum up the journey. And that's that, guys, from the Schwebebahn in Wuppertal. I hope you enjoyed that. €7.30 for a 24-hour ticket. You can go up and down, get on and off as many times as you want. It's really handy if you're staying overnight. I'm not. I'm heading back to Dusseldorf now. I've got another adventure tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for watching, and as always guys, cheers for now.